Hey, this is Brendan Allen from ComicCon.com. Today we are talking to Cullen Bunn. You know him; he's been on the show a bunch of times before. Usually we have drinks in hand, not today. We're going to be talking about a Kickstarter for Democritus. It's not Democritus; it's Democritus Brand, chapters 3 and 4, which is running probably for about another week, right?
Yeah, we have about a week left.
Okay,
And
and
and the name, look, let's just get it out of the way, right? So the title of this series and the name of the main character is a point of contention between my co-writer Jimmy Z. Johnston and I. Um, between, is it Democritus or Democritus? And there is a right answer to that question. And it's however I pronounce it from one moment to the next is how it is pronounced.
I heard
As
you
a,
say Democritus once, and it
it's,
doesn't it
it's
doesn't.
it sounds cooler.
You think?
Democritus sounds cooler, that's
Okay,
why that is how it's pronounced.
okay.
I think
I
as
mean,
a
you're
kid,
you're writing the character, so I guess I have to defer, but I don't
eh,
like it.
well, as a kid, I somehow stumbled across the name and I always pronounced it Democritus. So that has stuck with me all these years. I believe it is probably pronounced Democritus, but it's still just a you know what? I don't
It's
care how you pronounce
probably
it. Just
pronounced. It's
back the
probably
project.
pronounced. It's probably pronounced Democritus because that's how we pronounce like old Latin or Greek or whatever names in English. But
Hey, don't
you,
don't
I
try
mean,
to
you wrote
educate
the
me.
character. You
Don't
wrote
try-
the character, so you can call him whatever you want,
That's
I
right.
guess.
That's
Cool.
right.
All right.
I
So
don't care. I really don't care how people pronounce it.
as long as
I
they buy
think
it,
as long as they buy it, they can pronounce it however they like. In fact, maybe
nice.
we should create a tier that at that tier you can officially name the character. You can
You can canonize
officially
canonize
name
your
the
your
or
preferred
do the
pronunciation.
pronunciation. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So chapters 1 and 2 you did back in 2020. You had over 700 backers, over $19,000. This campaign is for chapters 3 and 4. You can get just chapters 3 and 4 for $10. You can get all 4 chapters for $20 if you need to get caught up. Print editions start at $25. It's pretty standard stuff. Autographs, mystery boxes, that kind of thing. Tell us about the story a little bit.
So the title of the book is Democritus Brand and the Endless Machine, and this is it's a steampunk Victorian era steampunk adventure, but there's a ton of cosmic horror thrown into the mix. The idea that um, during an exploration in Egypt, a mummy was uncovered, and this mummy was part machine, and they didn't know where that came from or how it started, so they reverse engineered it, and that started this age of insane industrial revolution that has created all these steampunk uh, elements to society. And as we enter this story, we see that there might be a cost associated with these advancements in technology. There might be a curse associated with it, and our character Democritus Brand is sort of this roguish professor type who is going to go out and try to solve the mystery of where all this comes from, if it's a curse, if there are terrible costs awaiting, and it kind of opens up these terrible vistas of reality and what is really going on for the characters. So
Nice. So you've got
it's
like a
cosmic
kind of a.
terror in a Victorian steampunk world.
Now I've heard you say horror like that. I've never heard you say terror like that.
What? Look, this is how I
Horror.
talk. People are just gonna.
That's fine. It's fine. Hey, it's fine. We'll get past it. But you could have gone with like as a pen name, you could have gone with like Cullen Kennedy,
Sure.
horror, terror. Anyway, um, cool. So you're kind of doing like, I mean, it's like an Indiana Jones thing with steampunk and body horror and cosmic horror thrown in there.
Yeah, there's definitely some swashbuckling adventure in it. So definitely some Indiana Jones influences. But yeah, a lot of body horror, a lot of uh, a lot of cosmic ramifications to be unlocked and unfolded.
Nice. Nice. So let's talk about like the conception of this because these elements they're all really cool and they all seem like they fit together really well. But how did this like hit you one day? Uh, steampunk mummies coming to life and that sort of thing?
You know, I don't remember necessarily every aspect of it. I know that Jimmy Z and I used to meet about once a week, and we would just get together and just brainstorm ideas. And this was years and years ago. We would just get together and brainstorm ideas. And I think we started out talking about a board game we wanted to create. And that might have been where this started, as this idea for a board game. And then we quickly realized that there's a story here that we should tell, or that might be interesting. There are many stories that we could tell in this world. So then we started talking about it as a comic, and going from there. And for several years, it just sort of languished there in this thing we'd talk about from time to time, until a couple of years ago we finally decided, let's make this happen. And we went out and we took it and decided to crowdfund it, and we just went for it then. And our plan is
Well,
always
that's another question that I would have gotten to too, is
yeah.
why individual chapters for this? Why 22 pages, 1, 2, 3, and 4 instead of an OGN? And how did you land on Kickstarter?
Well, the idea of Kickstarter was something I had wanted to, I've done a couple, but it's a platform that I've always been interested in figuring it out, and doing more on it. And going into next year, I'm going to be doing more and more Kickstarters, many on my own, many that publishers are wanting me to kind of quarterback to some degree. So publishers are doing them now as well. It was just something I wanted to try when we first started talking about the book. I wanted to just take it in that direction and see what happened. The individual issues, I think we just wanted to get the story going and get it available to folks a little faster. Things kind of slowed us down and derailed us in a lot of ways, so it didn't come out as fast as we wanted. But we just liked it. I was backing a few Kickstarters that were coming out in individual issues, and I liked that as well. So it's just I was kind of following in the footsteps of other Kickstarters that I enjoyed.
Right on. Right on. All right. And then doing the art on this is Federico De Luca.
Yes.
And how's that? I mean, his art is amazing. I'm looking at the pictures that you've got as previews on the Kickstarter right now, and it's very distinct. It's very like dark. Like there's this really cool quality to it. What's that like working with somebody who's not even like in another state or anything, but it's on a different time zone, on a different continent? Like,
well, it's all done via email. I mean, our communications are all through email. I think we've talked a couple of times voice to voice, but for the most part, we're talking. We're writing back and forth to each other, and it's been great. I mean, Federico he has such an interesting, unique style. It's kind of great for this world and this story, and it gives it a look that's unlike other books. But he's fast, he's easy to work with, and he enjoys the book. So, and that's all of those things coming together it's kind of magical for any creative project.
right on. It's real. I mean, it like all the things that you've described and everything I've read on the websites. I actually haven't seen the first 2 chapters, but like it really looks like, for the tone and everything that you guys are setting up and what you're trying to put out there, that this art is a brilliant fit for it.
Yeah, it's a fun, it's a fun project to see come, the art come in, and it's interesting because there are times in the book where Jimmy and I split, we outline each issue together, and then we split the pages that we're going to write. And for this one, we kind of, our outlines are maybe a little looser than what I would normally outline for myself. And there are times I get pages back of script from Jimmy, and I'm like, how is he going to draw this insanity that you've just written, of this pendulum diving bell with machine guns swinging back and forth and blasting bat-like gliders out of the air that are, bat-like gliders with undead pilots. And, he's swinging around on a metal cable. And I was like, how's he going to draw that and pull it off? And Jimmy and I would argue about it. And then we say, all right, let's just see what happens. And Federico doesn't even blink. He's like, all right, I guess I'm drawing and he makes it work. It's and when I get the page, I'm like, okay, I buy into it now. I get it. I get the swinging pendulum with
So
machine guns.
that's what that looks like.
Yes, now I understand.
And then I'm looking on here. Where are you at right now? You're just under 7,000. You got about a week to go. The goal is 11,000. And then I see on here a hint of stretch goals. Do you have stretch goals in mind? Can you tell us any of those, or
Yeah, we
you
have
keeping it?
stretch goal. We definitely have stretch goals in mind. We kept this campaign really simple, to be honest. We just want to bring the book out. But one of the things we did as a stretch goal last campaign, it was Jimmy's genius brainstorm, is we did one-page comics on backing boards that were tied into the main story. And that's probably going to be one of, I mean, there are stickers and bookmarks and all that stuff on deck, but Jimmy is very determined that we do another comic book backer board. And it turned out really cool. That was another situation where Jimmy said, hey, I want to do a comic book page on our backer boards. And I kind of balked at it and told him, no, that's dumb and it's never going to work. But it worked pretty well. It was interesting. So that's yet again, I was wrong. You heard it here first, folks.
That was a very Cullen Bunn answer. Fine, do it, stupid.
but it worked well. So that's one that will probably, assuming we meet our goal and we have time to launch some stretch goals, that's one that'll be right there. But for me, when we launched this campaign, we talked about, t-shirts and different, just all sorts of different things that we could do. And it was really important to me to keep this one relatively simple and just get the book so that we could get the book out.
Fair enough. All right. So you find this book by going to Kickstarter, and you can enter Democritus or Democritus Brand into the search bar. It's DEMOCRITUS Brand. Both campaigns will come up. This is for The Return, Democritus Brand, and The Endless Machine. The Return is the campaign you want to look for. Like I said, it's got about a week left.
And, I think it's important to note all the art is done. So issues 3 and 4 are drawn, they're colored. Issue 3 is lettered. So, I mean, it's not something that you're going to have to wait. Once we fund, we're sending it to the printer, and we're, as soon as we get it back from the printer, they're going to start fulfilling. So it's not going to be a long wait.
You're looking at a timeline of like months versus 6 months or a year, like some of these. Yeah.
The variable that we just can't control is getting it back from the printer. But we do use a printer that traditionally, even during these times where printers are waiting, where it can be 6-8 months, our printer on print things we've done before, we get it back within a few weeks, and then they can start going out.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's really cool. So,
all
right.
Yeah. All we've got to do is do some proofing, get the last one lettered, send it to the printer, and then we're off to the races.
So risk is minimal with this one because it's almost done.
Oh yeah. We're moving on to issues 5 and 6. We're already working on those and getting that ready for the next one.
Right on. All right. Before we sign off here, do you have anything left to add?
No, I think that was it. I appreciate the support. If you're already supporting it, let your friends know. If it looks like something your friends would like, let them know, point them in the right direction. Word of mouth is important for these kind of projects. I would like to do more of these Kickstarter projects. I mean, believe me, at our funding goal, it's not a project that's going to put money in our pockets. It's a project we're getting out and allows us to hopefully do the next one. But any support's appreciated, and yeah, just let people know.
Right on. All right, that is Democritus Brand and The Endless Machine, The Return on Kickstarter. Got about a week left. Thank you so much, Cullen, for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you.